since we're on the subject of politics in New York, let's go to Mike Reilly. And Mike, are you there?
I'm here, John. Thanks for having me.
Man, my friend, let me tell you something. When I had you on last time, I talked to a bunch of people, and they loved what you had to say. And here we are. And you are a state legislator out of Staten Island. How's that again? Is that the district? Is that how it's?
Yeah, I represent the 62nd Assembly District. There's 150 districts in New York State, and I'm the 62nd.
So they loved what you had to say and what you were pointing out about gun stamping, quote unquote, however they want to call it. And now that this law has come down about the Supreme Court handed down, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this? Because as that last caller was talking about, I've noticed that if a lot of Republicans they either say things that are, kind of light around the edges, or they're just nowhere to be found when things actually go their way. And I don't feel like you're one of those people. So what do you think the left is going to do now that this has occurred? Are they going to raise the prices to get a gun permit, to $10,000? What are they going to do to stop people from being able to carry?
Well, the left is going to, they're already talking, Governor Hochul's already talking about calling the state legislature back within the next 2 weeks to pass legislation potentially. And we can only imagine what that's going to do. But I guarantee that the state agencies that give out permits, concealed carry permits throughout New York State, are going to slow to a grind. I think they're going to say they're overwhelmed. And you're going to see that there's going to be a delay tactic. When this decision came down today, I actually came out with a statement, and New York's concealed carry law created a two-tiered system it wasn't equitable, right? New Yorkers who had the financial means, among other circumstances, were arbitrarily prioritized to get a concealed carry by government agencies. And, they were able to invoke their Second Amendment right. This ruling will ensure that all New Yorkers, there'll be an equitable playing field when you apply to protect yourself and your loved ones. That's the main issue here, right? It wasn't equitable. They were picking and choosing because maybe someone was doing a bank drop of, their business. They had to make like $10,000, $15,000 in cash to do a bank drop, and you could qualify for a concealed carry permit. Why are they prioritized over someone who just wants to be able to protect their family? They may not own their own business. They may be a plumber, right? And they work for the union, but they want to protect their family. That New York's law was creating an obstacle where they could not get a pistol permit.
So let me ask you this also, along with that. When you were a police officer with NYPD, how did you feel about at that point in time about allowing people to carry concealed? Because I know that police officers that live in cities where it's a more liberal ran city, they kind of get comfortable with those gun laws where they don't trust people to carry concealed. How do you think then versus now? How would the NYPD look at this?
Well, I don't think the NYPD is going to. They don't support the Supreme Court's decision, but we got to remember they work for the mayor, right? The police commissioner works for the mayor, and they're going to toe the line whichever policies the mayor, that administration wants. Let's be clear here. The gun laws on the books now are not being enforced. One thing I highlighted the last time we spoke, right? A 16 and 17-year-old who's in possession of a loaded firearm here in New York right now, if they commit a crime with it, just merely possessing it, they go to family court. They're not even treated as an adult and go to criminal court. And in family court, it's restorative practices. There's no accountability there. And what happens? They come out again and they carry a gun again. So the gun laws that we supposedly have on the books now, if we don't have prosecutors actually putting it forward in court and convicting these people of possessing an illegal firearm, what are we really doing? We're stopping those who are law-abiding citizens who don't commit the crimes. We're making them criminals. But the ones who are actually using guns illegally and shooting up our streets, just this last weekend, we had 20 shootings across New York City. I guarantee you there's not one that's a law-abiding citizen that actually tried to get a concealed carry permit. But here we are, we have regular citizens that are waiting months, years, and being dragged out. You know, this ruling hopefully will get them to expedite that.
So this is a huge problem, and why I keep apologizing to everybody because I've been kind of scattered in my speech throughout this entire show today, because going over the news in preparation for the show, it always dawns on me how controlled we are by the left and how they have their talons in every aspect. You maneuver this way, they maneuver that way. And they've been doing this for so long that exactly what you're talking about is going to occur. I knew that you would say this. I had a feeling, because this is what occurs in the federal government, and New York City is known for this, where if they don't like the way something is going, they just shut it. They slow it completely down. They don't close the doors and say we're not open. They just throw a wrench into the system so it completely slows down. And so when you look at the reality of what the Supreme Court just did, they're going to find ways to circumvent that. And on the other side of that, they're just doing nothing to go after criminals or to punish criminals at all anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like they are going the total opposite of that direction.
Absolutely. John, you know what's going to happen? They're, just like in Cleveland, right? With their concealed carry permit, they had this whole law changed, right, where their state legislature allowed for, you didn't need a license for concealed carry. So what they do, the local cities like Cleveland made it where guns were prohibited in certain places as long as the place put up a sign saying that you can't have a gun. So they created these gun-free zones. Well, gun-free zones only protect those who are law-abiding citizens that would have protected the person, that had the illegal firearm and was committing the crime. Criminals are not going to care that it's a gun-free zone. Matter of fact, all it does is create victims. And that's exactly what I think the state of New York is going to wind up doing, where they're going to try and come back and pass legislation that is going to allow municipalities to restrict where guns can be carried. And, someone like me who's a retired police officer, now you're going to tell me that I can't carry across my city, all right, or across this state. But meanwhile, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I know how to. I'm a responsible gun owner. But now the only people that you're going to allow to carry guns are those criminals, the ones that shot up 20 people this weekend.
And that's what I said earlier when it comes to what the governor said about all these people are going to become victims, and she points out all these different shootings that have occurred. But yet, if there had been more citizens that were armed, you wouldn't see these shootings occurring. This is why I keep trying to tell people soft targets exist, because of the nature of the fact that people will gather at a predictable time, and whatever company or whatever private or public entity exists to bring those people there, whether it be entertainment, school, or churches or whatever, they don't have the money, or the politics just don't allow for them to secure those places properly. In all of those situations, if people had the right to carry concealed, most of those people would be alive. I would have to say that most of these mass shootings would not have occurred. Although the one that happened in Buffalo was so fast that I know most people have not watched the video of that. I've seen the video of it. It's so fast that it doesn't matter how they get a weapon. If somebody is determined to go in and do damage like that, the only thing you can count on is more people there that are law-abiding citizens that have a weapon to defend themselves against that.
Absolutely, because I mean, you think about it. By the time a 911 call is made and the response time, that's more people that are going to be killed or injured, and so much happens in that quick period of time that you need to have a quick response, and a law-abiding citizen that's a responsible gun owner would be that response.
I mean, look at Chicago. Heaven forbid that New York goes as far down as Chicago has gone, where now they can't even chase someone. They can't even chase somebody if they've done something, even a felonious thing, like where they have a gun. The mayor of Chicago is saying that they cannot chase these people if they start running. That's just crazy.
Yeah, you know what it is? They become they've empowered criminals. That's exactly what they've done. They've basically told people that, you know what, our police are going to be hands off, and you can do whatever you want, and we're not going to hold you accountable. And that's a sad state of affairs that we have, and it's time for everybody to wake up and start, making sure that, you put people in office that are going to be more strict on crime and, going to take the stand of, and defend victims. Right now, they don't care about victims. They care about criminals. And that's all we see coming out of Albany.